Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you believe it? Can you believe your eyes? What's that Firefly song? I would have said the next line if I knew it. We're back. We're talking about Berserk two chapters. Chapters 365 and 366, though it's probably like 37 something if you count the weird lettered chapters at the beginning. But that doesn't matter. 2 new Berserk chapters are out, and I couldn't do it alone. So we brought our local Vinland Saga fanboy, Berserk hater, Jarkey Bacon. He's here with us.
That's me. I'm a hater for sure.
What did you say?
But
Berserk was a
I
7?
hopefully will be. I said it was a 7 out of 10. That's what is listed on my mouth. But
Uh-oh.
all right, we can see my redemption arc happening live on this channel if you guys stay tuned for our giant Berserk reread. Yes, you heard it right. Me and Kyle are going at it, reading all of Berserk together. It's going to be a time. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. So subscribe, hit that bell, ding-a-ling-a-ding. Yeah, we'll be rereading it, and hopefully that'll be out sometime.
Indeed,
Soon?
indeed. Just like the Attack on Titan Part 1 reread is out, me and Bacon will be doing something very, very similar. Just the two of us, though, for Berserk. Hopefully coming to the airwaves soon. Perhaps before the next chapter comes out, because I think they're trying to do the next 4 monthly or something. They said they had 6 chapters in this arc left, that they would all come out month after month. Unbelievable stuff.
Wow.
Unbelievable output here from our boy Guts. But yes.
Studio Geiger?
Yes.
Geiger.
Starts with a
I don't want to call it
J.
G.
No, G.
No, G. How Berserk. Kyle, talk. I'll look it up.
It is J. No, it is G. I always do fuck up those letters in my mind though, but it is G-A, and there's another A in there. Gaga? It's Studio Gaga.
It is Gaga. It's just Studio Gaga.
So it's a fucking Queen reference, is it? We got Lady
Gaga.
Or Lady Gaga. Though that might be a Queen reference too. We got all the Star Wars
maybe
references.
It's just a reference to Justin Bieber because he has a famous song called Baby. And do you know what babies do? They go gaga. So
Perhaps that's where it all comes from. I think
it's a deep
Berserk
cut.
is older than well, I guess the studio isn't older than Justin Bieber probably.
Precisely.
So you might be onto something. Well, I've only gone through this chapter 1 time. I'm going to be honest. 2 of them, which would still. I'm on this chapter, so it will work if what I say. It doesn't matter. This is my phone wallpaper, isn't it funny?
So it was a bad chapter because too much action, right, Kyle? Is that what we're going with? That's our angle on this one.
Where the fuck do we start, Bacon? I guess let's just quickly.
Oh my way.
We got one.
Let's start from the very beginning.
We got 364. Let's talk about this
maybe
beforehand. We need a refresher. What happened? What was the last chapter of Berserk, which we thought was actually going to be the last chapter of Berserk? Obviously, it famously ends. Griffith is there. The Moonlight Child confirmed, even though it kind of already been confirmed. I can show Isma boobs on here, right? I'm not going to get banned. Don't tell the Twitch police.
Okay, I won't.
Griffith shows up. He's crying because Moonlight Child, and he transforms, and then Casca sees, and she runs out, and Guts sees, and what's going to happen? Is basically it. The chapter before that was filled with nice family moments that didn't include Guts because we weren't there yet. Perhaps in the future Guts will be included in family affairs, but everybody's hanging out with the kid, and Casca's hanging out with it, being a sane person. Now, going into this one, there are many speculations. We've been speculating for a long time in the Berserk community about what's going to happen with the rest. Bacon, you are here still, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I heard a weird noise at some point, and I was like, oh no, is that like somebody's microphone cutting out or something? But indeed, Bacon is still here. I'm just going on in a monologue. Long speculation about what exactly was going to happen with the rest of this arc. Many speculated. It seemed like the default opinion that Griffith was going to attack somehow, especially when it was established that he can run through the sky with the weird tree thingies that we do see Puck looking at the very beginning of this chapter, and that is indeed what happened. These 2 chapters are a lot of what I expected to happen, which is interesting. I lost my opportunity to do my fake Berserk fan fiction ending that I was planning on writing for a long time, but I wanted to do it after I'd reread the series. Turns out somebody else is going to fucking finish Berserk before I could do it. In that, I had penned in that obviously there would be a big battle here that seems to be eventuating in this very chapter. And a lot of the things we've speculated about have basically come to pass. That's really the overall thing I would say about these 2 chapters, at least plot-wise, but I'm sure we'll go chronologically. Bacon, had you speculated much about what was going to happen next, or were you just more casually...
I'm a casual Berserk.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like here for the ride. I'm not here to get in deep in the weeds. I'm not super into the community, like say another community I partake in, but I very much enjoy, and I think the fact that I'm going to be reading monthly, I think even without the reread, it's going to increase my enjoyment of the chapters, just because taking it slow, having a good time. I love the art style. I think this is like reading. I'll be honest, going back and I'm reading, the early chapters. I think it's just the style in general, not my jam, but this is. Yeah, it is really
definitely
quite
changed
clean
over
and
time. We will talk a lot about art
sure.
style throughout this, because I do feel like it is a little... it's funny. Maybe we should just talk about... we should probably do plot before that. Well, I'll get back to that, but we'll talk about art style and stuff. It'll take 2 seconds, I think, to go over the plot. Puck is around and then starts to feel that something is amok, and we cut to basically all the creatures on the island sensing that something's amok. I remember speculation, because we do see the famous boat here, and the mermaids are still underneath the boat. There was speculation on if they had left, and they were going to come back, or if the time dilation thing, which is in effect here, very Razé-fan. What a show!
Some may say.
There was speculation on whether or not it also applied to the bay. So if the mermaids were in a different time thingy, so they would be waiting for 20 years outside, but it'll only have been 10 weeks or something. But I assume the mermaids are immortal, so maybe time wouldn't matter to them. But obviously this will be into play when we see Rickett again, because he'll probably be a lot older because of time dilation thing. So when I saw the mermaids in the bay, I was like, okay, cool. We're getting updates on the mermaids in the bay. Now, going into this, I'm jumping all over the place. I was very hesitant. When the announcement was made, it was basically the best announcement they could make. Apparently, the best friend of Mura, who Mura had shared confidential information about a lot of stuff, is the head director, I guess, of this project, along with all of his assistants who have obviously learned from his art style and how to replicate it and things like that. So I was very hesitant, and on this first page I was like, Puck is looking a little weird, but I feel like it was as soon as I saw the mermaids and I kept winning, I was like, okay, this feels enough like Berserk for me to be happy. I'm not immediately thrown off by things, which was a good thing. But if we can stop talking about the speculation stuff and get through the plot real quick, everybody senses some weird shit's afoot. Casca, Berserk does this a lot where we see the last few moments of the previous chapter at the beginning of the next chapter, and it's sort of done again. It's done this a bunch of times. This is just a little kind of motif Mira does. So Casca is walking out and she hasn't seen Griffith yet, and then she gets there and Urvella and Shurike here are like, what's going on? And then everybody sees Griffith naked. Then the brands start exploding. Casca very naked. We'll quickly go past that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I feel like I've shown Berserk panels before and not got banned.
Okay, cool.
But then Griffith looks at Shurike, she freaks out and becomes astral. Guts freaks out, the Berserk armor nearly activates, but Guts seems to will it down, and then he attacks Griffith. That's the end of the first chapter. Lots of 2-page spread. Very in Berserk, it's very, very short. You scroll through the whole thing, you're like, my god, I feel like I was scrolled for 10 seconds and it's already over. Then we get more Guts trying to attack Griffith. Doesn't seem to be working. Griffith kind of smirking at him, not seeming like the crybaby he was at the end of the last chapter we saw. Guts is hacking away, still very angry. Then we see Griffith in the astral realm, which I don't think we've ever seen before. He's very dark and black and ominous, whereas Shurike and Farnese are very light and white and whatever. You see the fucking visual thing going on here. And they pull out, and then Guts starts attacking again, and then Puck notices something's coming very fast. We see it, and it is indeed our boy Zod who has shown up. He is on Elfhelm. It seems like maybe we will get another Guts and Zod fight, and that's the cliffhanger. That's the plot recap. Not a lot, but kind of, it doesn't have to be a lot, I don't think. But we can jump into the actual stuff now. Bacon, anything to say about the plot recap just there? Or
nothing in particular. Things? It is a general like, oh yeah, stuff is, yeah, it's just quick chapters. Everything's happening so fast. I wonder how it escalates. I imagine next chapter will be a lot slower and they'll start talking, but maybe they'll continue fighting and they'll just keep them going. But like, it's very much just like, yeah, I mean, what they said there's only 6 chapters left in this arc.
Yes,
I mean, so this means we've got 4 after this one, or maybe is it 6 after this one? I don't know. Either way,
not
like,
many though.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I don't know what arc they're going to change. Like they maybe it must be just fighting. Then they'll fight, and then that will cause like another situation where like the status quo is shifted enough to be like this is a different arc now. Because it doesn't feel like we're close to any sort of resolution. At least if they were going to chat about it.
No.
But, I feel like there's more to talk about with regard just like everything surrounding the chapter.
Yes.
I mean, so for one thing about the scanlation team with this, I mean, it hasn't actually been released in Japan yet. This has, the translation team that has done this has broken, what was called street date, because what's not uncommon is that there are like full-on digital leaks to some scanlation teams and look at their hands-on early, so that then they can release, the chapters right at the same time that they're released in Japan. But this has actually translated it and released it before that it's published in the magazine. So this is actually not the typical translation done by this is done by a different group probably, because apparently Evil Geniuses, which is the group that's behind the normal scanlation, don't ever do this. So that's just extra insider information that some may not know. But
that's probably why the
there's not much to translate in this chapter
as well.
Perhaps I did notice a bit of artifacts. So yeah, what I'd say to those who do want to maybe jump in and have a close look at the differences in the art style, wait till it comes out specifically manga decks. That's probably where I'll be more appropriately. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know any of that, but just quickly, because you were saying what's going to happen next, I assume, and this has always been another big thing, somebody's going to get kidnapped and taken to Falconia, so we have a reason to go to Falconia. They'll probably destroy the island marginally too. I see the king, queen girl, the big powerful elf lady probably sacrificing herself or something to stifle like the explosion or something that Griffith's going to do. I hope Guts gets kidnapped. This has been my big speculation. I hope it's not Casca. I hope it's not another we gotta rescue Casca mission. We just got her back. She's around the characters. It would be nice to see her interact. And my idea was always, let's have Guts get kidnapped, and then, because everybody loves Guts, right? They don't really know Casca, so it'd just be them, like, following Guts. And I guess the elf people would want revenge. But anyway, that's just you were like, how is this going to go? I assume it's a kidnapping. I assume that's where we're going.
Yeah, wasn't there, like, there was a whole thing about, like, bursting into flames or something? Like, it may get set on fire or something.
Oh, Elfhelm,
I heard some theories around that. Yeah, Elfhelm.
Well, what happened with Flora, right, was that a bunch of apostles showed up and burnt her house down, so it could be a parallel to that.
Oh, I see. I see. I mean, like, that would make a lot of sense if there's some catastrophic event, so you have, like, a fight, but, like, it doesn't really get resolved because...
Yeah,
like, Elfhelm just gets
this is not the final.
And then, boom, we end the arc. Yeah, then we end... No, I'm not saying it's going to be the final story arc, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were saying that it wouldn't be, and that's why there's only 6 chapters left, because this can't be the big final battle. That'll happen at a later date.
I mean, I guess one thing just in general, like the art. I mean,
yeah, let's talk about that.
Regardless, the quality is outstanding.
It's very good. Yes.
It is very, very good. It is. I mean, I personally, I guess, don't have any like emotional.
You're not too
reservations that like has to be by to Miura as an author, just because I got into the game kind of late, folks. I only was around for 4 or 5 Berserk chapter releases while he was around, and the fact that they're continuing it, I think, is really, really cool, and they've definitely shown their ability to just basically make it the same.
It's
There are
close.
some stylistic differences. The biggest one, I mean, there's some like the paneling which you could probably go into more, but I feel the paneling's pretty similar.
Yes, the paneling
Particularly like
is the best I think they did in replicating it, but yeah. Keep going.
yeah, like so like in the first chapter in 68 365, sorry, you can see this classic one where Cask is just like you got the full body shot, but other panels are warping around her. That feels like
Like the
something that
naked
Mira
one
did quite
or
often. No, no, the one where she's clothed. It's our first one. So if you scroll down, it's the
Yes,
first
yes,
one
that
she's
one
on
looks
there.
perfect. I just opened that because I wanted to talk about this. The
Yeah,
Casca
that
clothed
one.
one looks absolutely perfect. The Griffith naked one looks really weird.
Yeah,
The body
I'm
looks
but
weird, and the Casca naked one I think also looks a little weird. But
I
obviously,
think
there's
I don't think it's the
different.
style. I think it's just the type of body they've given him. Like
Yeah.
they've like it's like a slightly more muscular version of the one he had when he got changed into it in the eclipse, right? So I
Okay.
guess that makes sense. Like he's not super he's not hench. He doesn't even look like he's very healthy to me. Honestly, he
Hmm.
looks very, very
Yeah.
skinny and but
He's very skinny
I
too.
yeah, and I mean he's got the separation in his pectoral muscles, which always looks a little weird to me, but
Yeah.
sometimes people's muscles are just like that. But generally you only see
A
that
lot
if
of
they're super,
wrestlers
super
have that,
lean.
so I'm kind of used to it.
I
But
see,
yeah,
I see.
because they
Yeah.
fucking
I
fuck up their pecs. But yeah.
yeah, I mean I imagine it's a big part of the aesthetic. But I'd say the biggest difference is that particularly in the older Berserk chapters, apologies if you can hear an ambulance in the background.
It's fine. We can hear it.
The older Berserk chapters, generally Mura would like to add, particularly on small, more on frames with like where the characters are smaller, on pages where the characters are smaller, generally add thicker outlines that are very clean and tidy in between them. Here, there's a lot of actually quite scratchy outlines, particularly you can see on
Mm,
like cheekbones of certain characters, particularly the female characters like Casca or Shurike. So it's just like I don't know why they want to fill in those lines. It doesn't feel like something that would take that much longer, but it also doesn't really impact it. It just makes the art feel a tad less clean. Like that's something I
yeah.
quite like having detailed inner lines, but then the silhouette of the character is almost quite blocky in all the chapters, which was probably the biggest difference I saw.
Yeah.
But like the shading is immaculate. Like it is so similar. Like I mean,
It's
like
about what you
if no
like
one
hope
knew that it
for.
was yeah, if no one knew that Mura wasn't doing this, I still think people would just be like, oh, it's just an evolution in his style. Like I don't think people will really notice a difference. People may be like, ah, it looks a little off, but like it's just like the fact that we know it's someone different, that
Yeah.
we're looking for
I
differences,
was
and
thinking
we
about that
can
a
be really
lot.
picky about these things. So like that's just how it is.
Yeah, the Casca naked one. It seems to be naked bodies, perhaps that is a little different because the only other one that I noticed like that it looked a little weird, or I guess a big notice that it was weird or something was the Casca naked one. Though I can't blow that one up on screen. In terms of paneling, I think they did a very, very good job. Something I talked about, oh, well, I guess I've talked about it. I don't think I've ever actually said this in a video, is that Mura got a lot more, I guess, abstract, and he would, what do you call it, play with art styles a lot more towards the end. Casca's green dreamscape and things like this. So like the panel of Guts like hacking at like around at his
Yeah,
surroundings trying to
that
hit
was
him,
really
that
cool.
is very Mura-esque, and I thought it was really cool. It's a cool, interesting way to panel things. I think this will look really, really good when we get like the proper high quality pages. Because right now, if you
Yeah,
zoom in, it
and
looks kind of
I mean,
blurry. But yeah,
this is also something that I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd want to buy that or something.
mm,
I mean, actually, maybe I do go out and buy one of those big chunky Berserk books today. I don't
mm,
know. Like it is just it's very, very impressive, and it's something that like I guess as a reader, maybe this is why like I just didn't like Berserk because when you read things quickly, like these kind of like you don't step back and
yeah,
appreciate these types of panels as much. You don't read all the smaller
it
details,
all
so.
washes together.
Um, yeah, it does. Like I didn't really clock what was going on at first, but I mean, it's like is Guts like because Guts just seems like because one of the big points going on here is that like Guts's armor doesn't cover him. He doesn't
Yes,
get consumed by the armor.
if you on this page,
Yet
it
he
looks like he's
still seems
coming.
mentally consumed. Like he still seems like there's this inner ferocity and carnivorousness that comes out of him no matter what. He's still drawn with the kind of like dog eye, the blackened out dog
Yeah,
eye and all this stuff. And so if still feel like he's lost and pretty much any composure, which I don't know. I mean, Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like a guts thing or if that is the armor. You could probably elaborate more on that.
I don't think I think he specifically doesn't activate the armor here, which is probably well
Mm.
to set up a final battle, right? I assume the final battle will be Guts in the Berserk armor versus Griffith as Femto, so we can't give that away now. Um, but I think the point is like he can't hit him unless he puts the armor on. Like he's still because the armor
I
is
see.
like this embodiment of sort of his madness towards Griffith. That is tempered potentially while he's ignored it to prioritize Casca. This is Guts' character arc and everything. But when confronted with Griffith here, he still it has not subsided. It did not go away. It is still there. He still is very, very mad, and he just swings uncontrollably. Obviously, this moment again is reminiscent to a different moment, which is the Hill of Swords moment, where he also
Mm.
immediately attacks, and then Zod intervenes, which he does again at the end of the last chapter. But quickly, just on the paneling point, again, this is going to look bad zoomed in, but when it comes out, this is a very new Miura thing, is these small not vertical, the opposite of that, horizontal panels here. There's a chapter that came out very recently, and I mean like the last 3 years, where it was the Griffith around like the table in Falconia with all the nobles. And there was a long slip like this that was of the first chapter. It was Guts versus the snake thing. And I love that panel. It stands out in my brain as like one of my favorite Berserk panels. And it might have even been slimmer than this, but it was another vertical panel. So they were trying to like replicate the did I say vertical again? Horizontal.
Yeah,
Um,
like a horizontal slice.
Yes, and it felt like a new thing that Mura was developing. So if they're like maybe like his assistants were like with him as he started to do this, so them trying to incorporate that here. And also I do like this panel of sort of like the standoff. It looks really good because obviously it's like the darkness around Guts, the white is over here, and it's Griffith and Guts stare down. It's like holy fuck,
Mm.
it's happening. Berserk is still here. This eternal struggle continues on. But yes, that was another paneling thing that I was like, okay. Like, I was very concerned mostly with how the character writing was going to be because I thought Mura was that's like my favorite thing about all of Berserk is the nuanced character writing. That's been a title of a video I've wanted to make for 3.5 fucking years at this point. Hopefully I'll make it after the reread. But that was a big thing, and I was like, oh man, Mura was getting like even better. Not even like specifically with drawing, but with like art styles and paneling and things like that. And it seems like they're continuing on that goodness. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Mm.
Even if
And I think this is something that just comes with having time.
yeah,
I wonder how much his assistants were doing before he passed.
yeah, I'm not sure.
And
I
how
don't know.
much, like, how many more assistants they have now, and how they're able to capitalize on that. Because if they are doing monthly, that's more than Mura would have ever done.
Yeah,
I
how much does it
suppose
qualify to be
we
a
would.
studio? How many people? Do you
Yeah,
have?
I mean, you just need to be able to have a business and then call it a
Yeah,
studio, I guess. I mean, like, I mean, I'm part of a company that's a studio for 3 people,
well, there
technically.
you go.
So yeah,
I don't think if it was two
but
people, I don't think it's a studio. But maybe I don't know. But yes, keep going. I'm just being an idiot.
yeah, it depends by the definition, of course. But yeah, I mean, so I imagine the art quality will generally decrease, not because they're bad artists, but if they want to keep up a decent
The release
release
schedule.
schedule,
Well, they
that's
could have
just
been
how it
working
is.
on this for a couple of months or something, preparing. So
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, yeah, maybe what they'll do, they'll release the 6 chapters, and then they'll say, okay, we'll be back in half a year or
yeah,
whatever.
like a
I
TV
don't know exactly
seasonal
what they're going to do.
release schedule.
Yeah, something like that. But I also think that when you have time as a creative, just taking a step back allows you to come at something and not just go for the same old. And so
Yeah,
that may be something that Mura had later on, as he wasn't just doing
yeah,
these monthly. He was able to focus on the paneling and get more creative and just be able to think outside the box and have more energy to spend on that. Um, but yeah, I mean, the the detail, yeah, it felt like a solid Berserk chapter that was done by Mura, but it didn't also have like a super abstract page. Like I remember on the previous one, it had like Casca, like in the water with like the cursed child, but it was like the
yeah.
the is it like a fetus? I don't know. Like
Yes, that's
the
my phone wallpaper. Yes, yes.
yeah. So that
The
there's a
demonic
few that
fetus.
are like yeah. It's very interesting. But I mean, with regards to plot, maybe to further, are you looking for something
Well,
just
I
to
was
kind
just
of
looking for
bring the fact back?
the horizontal panel, but I couldn't actually find
Oh,
the
I see.
specific guts one. But here are a bunch of like other versions of it that I think are really cool. But it's
Yeah,
just to continue on. But
yeah.
keep going. You were going to say something about the plot.
Oh, I mean, just in terms of the plot, so we have Guts not putting his armor on, the fact that, um, I mean, we've got Skull Knight still on the island. How will that turn out? How
Indeed.
will the magic be used? I mean, I don't know if there's any like, because magic in Berserk's a little very ethereal and all that. I mean, lots of people have been speculating on whether Guts get like a new God Hand slaying sword, kind of like Skull Knights or whatever.
Mm,
And so that's the way for him to not have to put on the Berserk armor, and still be able to hurt them like he is
yes.
not doing with Griffith here. Um, yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, Zod as well. Like, I can't remember, but did they leave on some sort of mutual respect last
Well,
time
they
they
did
like
fight
saw
Ganishka
each other?
together. And then
Yeah,
they were
yeah, that
like,
was it.
they kind of set it up for like, oh, we'll fight again someday, big fella. And they split off.
Yeah,
And Guts got the fuck out of
yeah.
Atanus and
So
Griffith went in.
yeah, so I mean, maybe I mean it's been a reoccurring rivalry, of course. So
Yeah. Guts
I
has
mean,
to win it eventually. That's where it has to go, I'm
yeah,
assuming.
yeah. You also have I guess. Oh man, I'm forgetting everybody's names. Not Shurike, the other
Farnese?
Farnese. Yeah, so she comes into this and she gets into the astral plane somehow. I think
Well,
that
she's done
seems
that before.
surprising to Shurike, but Shurike seemed
Oh
surprised
yeah,
for
she
whatever
has a lot
reason.
more like control. We saw that she was like practicing magic in one of the last chapters. So yeah, it seems like she's a lot better than Shurike is counting on. But she's like the one in control
Okay,
here, while Shurike is freaking out. Now that could be because Farnese has seen Griffith before. She was obviously there when he was rebirthed and everything, and I don't think Shurike has seen Griffith before. So that might be
I
it,
don't
and she
know.
might have been prepared, and maybe Farnese has just seen more like crazy stuff. Though showcasing some crazy stuff. But yes, there was some stuff going on there. I honestly only read that part once, and I probably should have twice
Hmm.
before here. But if I try and read on stream, I'll lose my mind. But yes, there's the title of this chapter was in the eye of the maelstrom or whatever, and that's a reference to that scene, right?
Hmm.
They're getting sucked in by Griffith's like negative energy. Um, in the astral plane. So
Yeah.
because I think they've seen the Moonlight Child in the astral plane before, and it's more the opposite of this, where it's I guess Shurike's kind of falling here. I wonder if this could be a parallel to the idea of evil thing. Um, but maybe I'm not sure. Um,
Hmm.
but yes, there's
Yeah.
things afoot here. Um,
Yeah, I mean I actually got what's the god hand Slad, is that what
Slan,
her name
yes,
is?
that's the lady one.
Uh, I thought Griffiths kind of looked like her in the astral world a little bit because of his kind of almost
Yeah, I
Medusa-like hair
guess.
and
Yeah, the
stuff.
hair.
Um, um, I know the part I really quite liked is like almost how frantic Guts felt as he was swiping. I mean that was just all communicated through the art.
Yeah.
So I mean it definitely felt very almost hopeless. And I mean because I didn't really know the lore as much, I was like, why is he not hitting him and all this stuff? Like I can remember it,
The
but
not hitting him thing is new. I don't know if it is just like when he puts the
okay.
Berserk armor on, he'll be able to hit him, or it's just like he literally can't hit Griffith, which could be some thematic thing about. Um,
I thought it was because of like his astral like god hand thing, right? Like
well, let's think. Griffith,
I can
Femto. He's never been hit, I don't think. Guts nearly gets the blade to him in the eclipse at the very end. And the implication is like, oh, Guts has such strong willpower. He could have almost got him, but then Femto sends him flying. I
I
guess the
see.
implication might have been if he had hit him, it would have just gone through him, but I don't think that was the implication back then. I think it might be just because he just transformed, or maybe because it's the full moon and he transforms in the full moon, that he can't hit him, or maybe it could just be because they're on Elfhelm and there's something special here. I'm not sure. Um, Skull Knight killed.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Skull Knight didn't have his special sword when he, assumingly killed some of them in the flashback, because obviously it was 4 different ones. I don't know if he killed all 4 of them in that moment. But I don't know. I think this might be something special, not just like a God Hand thing. Guts did stab Slan, but she was like made out of troll guts, and it might not have been actual Slan. The mechanics here of the fight are to be determined. I'm sure we'll get our answers on these things.
But of course, we know that Berserker's bad fights. Of course,
True.
Not much strategy goes into these things. Very, very, very simple.
Just got swinging his sword. That's the super epic.
Yeah,
video.
classic.
I just remember where that's from.
I will say I'm just seeing on the Berserk subreddit. The next chapter will be dropping on July 8th, so 2 weeks from now.
That's your video.
That's when I'm dropping my video. Yeah, wow. That's 3 days after your birthday. So
Indeed.
they're going at this, I
was just checking what the little editor's note was here. A wedge formed on the sacred island and a torrent of darkness is flooding in. I assume there's going to be more of them showing up. I assume it's not just going to be Guts, just Zod and Griffith. Lucas and... who are the other ones? Grumbeld, the dragon. Are they all going to show up? We'll see. We'll have to see. Will Mule and Sonya be showing up? They went on the last mission. I predicted face turns for both of them. They're both going to be good guys by the end of it, so that could play into something. Oh, also our friendly neighborhood witch, Morda, the black-haired witch, who's my favorite.
Maybe we'll see that cocky grin.
Is she going to turn heel? Is she going to help Griffith as I expect?
There's no way. There's no way, right?
She's going to be Shurikei's final fight. Aren't you ready? Sonya doesn't
I
fight.
guess so.
She's the other witch girl, but we need to fight somebody. She's got black hair, Bacon. She's evil. And she's a troublemaker.
I see.
Griffith's going to take advantage of her. And then at the end, she'll realize that Griffith's a bad guy. But I also think Zod's going to turn face at some point. Because he's cool, Bacon. He's got to. I wonder if Zod will have an arc like that. Like he is subservient to Griffith and he learns to be his own man or something.
The classic second in command trope.
Skull Knight being around, I actually didn't even think about that, but he is. So what's that fella gonna do? We'll see. There's some hinted history potentially with the Queen Elf girl. Skull Knight could die here, I guess. Skull Knight's either gonna like die or he's going to like after they win in the end, he's gonna like fade away. That's like a trope, right? They fade away and he's like, my mission is done. He can release his soul from the skeleton or something. That's how I envision that wrapping up. So, I feel like he might die. I feel like there's also Zod history there. I think he has to have another confrontation with Void. So probably not. Unless the whole God Hand gang is showing up here. But really we have like no insight into anybody but Slan, really. So, it's gonna be an we're going. We're gonna find these things out.
We are going.
It is indeed going because Puck is looking at the sky here. I guess that might just be for Zod as Zod like zooms past him. The way Zod appears with just his hand, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool shot.
But I was gonna say I assume there's more coming because what else is Puck looking at? But he's looking at Zod, so that might not assume anything. Bacon, is there anything else particularly that stands out here?
No, not really. It's just all good. Just really good stuff.
Guts still has his one eye thingy here. That is evident from the very beginning. If you go back, the blackened out face with the one eye that lights the way. That's in the Black Swordsman arc. It's just a little motif that they always do. Let me scroll through the first chapter again to see. We can speculate all day, but
yeah,
I think the Griffith eye shot. Now that's a very important shot. Griffith's always given people the evil eye. That this page looks really good too. That's really on point.
That looks like a Lord of the Rings reference.
Indeed. Shurikei's really freaked out here. She's a scared girl. I'm going to scroll... Oh, no, I got the battery thing. I was going to scroll past Nude Casca real quick. I did. Besides that, again, they're short Berserk chapters. The Kelpies are here, never forget. When Guts had to fight a Kelpie, it was like a mini-boss of an arc, but there's a bunch of them in this pond. They drown people or something. It's scary. They're on the first page here. Do we see everybody else? We don't see Isidro or Isma. I'm trying to remember where everybody is, like, right now. Because Shurikei and Farnese are in the house with Casca. Shurikei's... not Shurikei. Isidro's playing on the hill or something, I'm assuming. What was Puck doing? Why is Puck, like, floating up there at the top? Maybe I just don't remember the last chapter too much. Where's Roderick? Don't let our boy Roderick get hurt. This last chapter, they're all playing together. I'm trying to see at the very end what's happening. Maybe Isidro's just sleeping upstairs through it. Oh, also, we don't see Chestnut Puck at all in these 2 chapters, and they better not have cancelled my boy Chestnut Puck. You better be coming back. Isidro's got his shirt off here. He's looking swole. Him and Isma playing in the pond. We're getting Casca flashbacks. We don't really see it. Just cuts to night. Okay, so we don't really know where they are. The last thing I guess that there is to even point out is that Griffith's, like, the shot of Griffith's tear drying up is kind of cool. We don't like Griffith here. We don't call him cool, but it's kind of cool where he's like, it's like it implies that the tear from the end of the last chapter was like the Moonlight Boy. Like, oh no, now I've got to transform back and he's going to be here. But it's from the page that we were making fun of with the big tits. But it is, the tear dries up here and he turns around and now he's in Griffith mode fully. Will he say something? Say something, you fucking prick. That was Guts' thing on the Hill of Swords, right? He runs up and he starts freaking out and it's just him and Rickett having a conversation. Rickett doesn't know what's going on. And the first thing Griffith says is like, you haven't changed. And he says it like, as if they're all buddies or something. Fuck that Griffith prick. And then eventually kind of says some things. But really, we haven't had like, the heart-to-heart conversation has to happen at some point. It probably won't be here, though. But it will be interesting if they talk at all. Obviously, we know Griffith has the Casca. The Moonlight Child is inside him, so he does have a weakness for Casca, as we saw on the Hill of Swords. So we'll have to see if that plays into things somehow. If he says anything to Casca, or if he talks about that at all, that'll all be interesting. Griffith speaking is always interesting, because it doesn't happen too often. But I feel like I'm rambling, Bacon.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say.
Yeah. I'm running out of things too. And the battery did give us the first warning, so we probably should be ending this fucking thing. Again, 2 very Miura-length chapters, 2 very short ones.
Big congratulations to them. It was really good.
They're fucking back, and they're doing it pretty good. I'm not mad at all. And we get to see how it ends, so fuck it. Let's go. But overall,
for the ending to be disliked, and then everybody's like, "Oh, you disrespected Miro," or whatever.
Yeah, maybe people treat it with kid gloves, like, he was just trying. All right, he was trying to do his best. But yeah. Anyway, they better not.
I hope they'll be nice about it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get the Berserk ending. Isn't that a fucking thing? We're talking about Berserk right now. Yeah. New chapters came out in the year of our Lord, this very year. Unbelievable. But that's the last thing from me. Bacon, you want to say something? Shill your video or something before we send the people home?
Yeah, no, I've got a new video on Vinland Saga, and everybody make sure to tune in and subscribe, because Kyle and I will be going through all of Berserk when he tries to convince me that Berserk is actually good.
Yes,
actually, a masterpiece. I think it's good. I just don't think it's as good as everybody else makes out to be.
Don't listen to him chat.
I hate it. Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't even look at chat one time. We could have been doing that. But anyway, that's it. Subscribe. Go watch Bacon's new video. It's about Vinland Saga Season 2. If you've seen Season 1, you can watch a portion of the video. Bacon's very anal, if we can use that word, about spoilers. So you'll know when you can and can't watch, I'm sure. I actually haven't seen the video yet. I'm going to remedy that very soon, like you should. So, Bacon's link will be in the description. Go over there. A bunch of you people have to be Vinland Saga people too. So go check that out. With that being said, support links in the description below. Thanks.